Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Our older son Vyasa was born in 2017, and so in 2016, Sheila and I bought a Honda CRV in preparation for Vyasa. We've driven this a lot to Pittsburgh, to Cleveland, to London, to Albany, all over the place. And so on Monday, we sold the Honda CRV and bought a 2024 RAV4. This is made by Toyota. It's a hybrid. Sounds like I'm trying to sell you something, but I'm not. I'm only introducing where I'm going with this thought. So our salesperson, she had asked what Sheila does. Sheila's law firm is called Mosaic Immigration Law. So she was talking to Sheila about what she does. Then she looked at me and says, "What do you do?" And I thought to myself, what do I do? So I tried to share that I try to teach people how to be happier. I try looking at all of you as I talk about cars, you are happier, but soon we'll talk about Bhagavad Gita. I don't know if it's working. So then she shared with me every day she takes a pill for happiness. A friend of hers had given her this jar, and in this jar there are notes or cards with quotes or narratives or just positivity. So she takes this every day. I was very appreciative of her effort to be happier, not through a pill in a chemical form, but rather in a philosophical form, like Meaningful Mornings, correct? This also is a pill for happiness. She had also shared, and I'm sharing these personal insights with you to show you how people practice. She was telling me that her commute to and from Niagara is an hour 40 every day. She lives north of Toronto, for those who know about this distance. And I couldn't believe it. Our kids' school is 3 minutes away. I have to take them soon. She was telling Sheila and I that she's learning Spanish during her commute. What a good use of time for her to expand her IQ, maybe EQ, because she's an English speaker. Anyone who wants to practice will practice. Anyone who doesn't want to practice won't practice. You could have been in Meaningful Mornings for 1,300 mornings, even though we've not reached that, and still not practice. You can be like this salesperson who's never been in Meaningful Mornings, but she is practicing in her own way. As we go through Bhagavad Gita's chapter 18, it seems almost like chapter 18 is about the gunas. System after system is sharing on the gunas. It is not on the gunas, but rather it is about relatability so that one can practice. I've shared many times with all of you, only those you relate to can reform you. If you don't relate to a certain guide or map or divinity, they're not going to reform you. So Shri Krishna is working hard and smart to make this chapter super relatable. How many of you have found this? This chapter is super relatable? Good, it's working. Obviously, Shri Krishna wrote it. The word guna means rope. Guna has lots of meanings. One of them that I'm tuning into right now is rope. Typically, we're told that ropes are that which limit us. tie us down. But ropes can also lift us. They can hold us up. And that is why in the field of devotion, there's a beautiful saying, Dal roti khao or Hari guna ga. Dal roti khao, which means eat bread and vegetables. That's your functional. And then all else should be Hari guna ga. It is to remember, to listen, to speak out the qualities of divinity. That same guna lifts us up then, yes? Shared in another way. To be closer to divinity, we start with name. More authentic and deep than that, form. More authentic and deep than that is guna or qualities. For all of you who have a personal expression of divinity map guide, a name is lovely but not relatable enough. A form is also lovely but not relatable enough. It is the qualities of your guide, your map, your divinity by which you form a relationship. And it is the relationship that inspires us, that we can't help ourselves but to keep moving forward. I'm sharing insights into how to use the gunas to practice. Right now, the system we're in is on composition. Shri Krishna has shared, for the one who is a Brahmana or thinker, they have to be more virtuous because they're living more for oneness. Please don't get lost in these terms like Brahmana. What we are tuning into is the one who's living for oneness naturally has to be more virtuous. Trying to explain this more rationally. Sanatana Dharma means infinite nature. Infinite nature in a very simplistic way means oneness. Infinity's nature is oneness. The nature of oneness is infinity. That is all inclusive. Now, right now, we don't feel that. So how can we feel this? It is through self-development. In Sanskrit, we call this yoga. What is self-development? It is cultivating these virtues so that I do feel oneness. As Shri Krishna zoomed into the specific, and the number was 9, the 9 specific virtues of a Brahmana, the last one was astikya, the one who is filled with faith. How do you know that you are faithful? Pujya Tejo Mayananda shared. Number 1, you don't complain about God. I think most don't do that. Number 2, you don't complain to God. You don't complain about God. You don't complain to God. The one who is filled with faith, they know God's nature is love, and all that comes from love is loving. Shri Krishna then zoomed into not a thinker, but a leader. Their virtues went from 9 to 7. They're not living for oneness as much. so they don't have to be as virtuous. That is very explicitly shared. A quality or guna of a leader is dana. Now I'm going to read an insight from Pujaswami Chinmayananda about how practical this is. A human of action cannot afford to be miserly, since their success will depend upon their influence on a large number of friends and supporters. The glory of Prince is in his compassion for others who are in need of help. The higher explanation of this is a leader is looking out for others, and so the privilege they have, they share. The lower understanding of dana is nobody likes cheap people. If you want to be liked so that you can help people, it requires being generous. Very practically. I think I'm invited to Chinmay Mission Centers, I think, because I don't take a lot of dakshina with me. I feel that because of all of you, our efforts are all being completed. I just want to come and help that center. This works. We're now moving on to verse 44, which completes the composition of a Vaishya, that is a mobilizer, and a Shudra, that is a worker. Krishi Gauraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. Joy. In the previous two verses and this one, the word swabhavajam is used. That is composition. Because of the composition of a personality, these are their responsibilities that will help them to evolve, to become virtuous enough for oneness. From the thinker to the leader to the mobilizer. What are the three gunas, characteristics, responsibilities of a Vaishya or a mobilizer? It is krishi. Krishi means farming. Gauraksha, that is protecting cows. Put very simply, milking. And vanijam, that is the mentality of a vanik or a trader. So put into a verb form, trading. The three expressions of a mobilizer to help them to evolve into virtues and oneness is farming, milking, and trading. Now, as I reflected on this, I was thinking about how farming relates to plants, milking relates to animals, and trading relates to humans. So cool that these specific verbs are given because Sri Krishna started this section off sharing all beings are subject to gunas, including animals and plants. A further reflection on Vaishyas, the mobilizers. Please reflect on this a lot. Out of the 4 classifications of personalities, only the Vaishya or mobilizer, according to our maps on morality, only a Vaishya or mobilizer is allowed to have a profit. For the thinker, their focus is on thinking, and so non-thinkers support them with food and funds. For a leader, their functionality is through taxes. taxes. So they also can't have a profit. It is only the Vaishyas, the mobilizers, who can have a profit. And now if we come down to the Shudra, the worker, theirs is not a profit, but rather they're earning. It's almost like subsistence living. What an insight. And I feel what a clear direction that we can all reflect on how we've broken from this social system. It seems like everyone is living for a profit now, for a result. I know many manders, in fact, even some Chinmay mission centers, whose savings accounts are in the millions, tens of millions. I know this to be a fact. And it goes against what is being shared in the Bhagavad Gita. That's why I've shared with those in Niagara, London, Cleveland, etc. We will not have debt. And as soon as we don't have debt, we're going to use our resources to help others. Not so we can have a better savings account. The next line I will review tomorrow, but put very simply, a Shudra or worker has one responsibility, and that is to serve others. See how the responsibilities went from 9 to 7 to 3 to 1. This social system is the Shudras to help the Vaishyas to help the Kshatriyas to help the Brahmana. What is the Brahmana doing? Helping the Shudra, helping the Vaishya, helping the Kshatriya. There's no concept of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Everyone is trying their best to live for everyone. Lots to reflect on. From inspiration to application, your application was to listen to City and Color. The lead singer, Dallas Green, is actually from the Niagara region. I've listened to them many times, live. The song is meant to be. And the most potent line is, but I was missing my friend. How do I carry on? Anyone who has this bhava or feeling towards divinity, that I'm missing my friend, they can't carry on. And so all they think and speak and act for is their friend. In bhakti, that's called sakya. It is that feeling that eventually evolves to nivedana, or surrender. Do you miss your original parent? Your application for this morning, while I was in Pittsburgh, I was interacting with some seekers, and I had asked them, what do you think will encourage more ahimsa? Ahimsa means sensitivity or non-harming. If people who choose to eat meat should kill that meat to eat it, as in it's not sanitized, or the present system. I go to a restaurant and I order a hamburger. I don't kill that meat. I just eat it in a sanitary way. Which would encourage more sensitivity? Please reflect on this. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be joy.